What's up, guys? Welcome to Reviews on Tab. It's Anarchadium, and today I'll be reviewing. What's funny? What's up, guys? Welcome to Reviews on Tab. I'm Anarchadium, and today we'll be reviewing Sorry to Bother You. Sorry to Bother You is basically like a movie friend on Twitter. Basically, like it's a surrealist drama. It's like a surrealist drama, which is quite interesting because it's got like a cast of black people. It's a movie directed by Boots Riley, and it took him 9 years to make this movie. It's like an indie. It's a very indie movie that took him 9 years to make, and it's basically about the telecoms industry. But when you watch it, it's actually about the corporate. It's about the corporate environment. It's about the universal corporate environment. It's not just telecoms, even though it's based in a telecoms company, and the main actor is Lakeith Stanfield. I have a theory about Lakeith. It's either he acts lazy but he's a hardworking actor, or two, he's got an amazing agent, because this guy's film choices are fucking amazing. But he likes to pretend like he doesn't care about acting. He's got this lazy boy vibe, but it's all a fucking lie, and it pisses me off actually. But anyway, he's amazing in this movie as the lead. It also stars Terry Crews, it stars Tessa Thompson, it stars Danny Glover, not Donald Glover, Danny Glover, okay? I spoke about a scene in the movie where Danny Glover basically steals the show. It's a scene where he's teaching Lakeith how to speak like a white person. And the scene is absolutely amazing. Like, Danny upstages Keith. He basically shows him that he's the more experienced actor. And somebody on Twitter was like, oh yeah, I love them on Atlanta together. And I'm like, not that one. Not Donald Glover, it's Danny Glover. The movie is extremely interesting, and I think it's a hit or a miss with viewers basically, because it can come off as a strange, weird movie that doesn't make sense if you don't really understand the type of metaphors that the movie plays on. It's about showing how Lakeith, as a black person in corporate, is conflicted with various ideas and various issues that happen in corporate, like non-white people being treated as like less significant than white people, and he gets torn between the situation where the non-white employees are striking because they want more pay, but he's doing well at work and he's getting promoted by white people, so he doesn't want to mess up that vibe because he was a broke person and now he's making enough money to sustain himself and his family. So he starts kind of turning on this idea of being a rebellious black person because he's excelling and he's making money. He kind of turns on that cause, and he kind of becomes an enemy, and he becomes conflicted because his girlfriend is a black artist who's like Rage Against the Machine, rebelling against white people. And I think that dynamic is very interesting because it's very common in the real world, where you're black, you work in corporate, you identify the issues, but you're too afraid to approach them because you want to be promoted, you want to get money, you've got people to take care of. When you don't have money, it's easy to rebel, and then when the white people start paying you, you get a bit quiet, and then kind of they use a token of black person to promote, to kind of keep all the black people quiet, and Lakeith is that subject. And it's such an interesting play because it's very relatable if you've worked in advertising, banking, anywhere. That situation is a very relatable situation among black people, where you're conflicted with your livelihood and doing what's right, but also knowing that white people are more powerful in both elements and they can literally determine which way your life goes. So it's dope. When you're playing on those ideas, it's dope. It also has Armie Hammer, who plays the big boss, and it's got Ghost from Power. What's his name?
Something.
I know his name.
Ghost.
Omari fucking Hardwick is in this movie. Okay, cool. What's dope between Lakeith, Omari, and Hammer, that situation is very interesting because Omari is basically Lakeith's boss, but Omari has a boss who is Armie Hammer. So at the beginning, Omari comes off as this very dominant man in charge. He uses a special elevator, and Lakeith aspires to be like him. And when Lakeith works hard enough, he gets promoted, and he meets up on the same level as Omari, and Omari introduces Lakeith to his boss, Armie Hammer, and then it kind of makes Omari kind of like a weaker character. And you've seen that a lot as well in corporate spaces, where your manager's got a big ass mouth until his boss shows up, and then he becomes a little rat or a mouse, and all of a sudden his attitude changes. And it plays on those dynamics that we see all the time in these spaces, where people distribute power for you to use, and then when you reach a certain level, that power becomes irrelevant. So it's a very interesting movie, and it's extremely layered, and I could go on and on and on about this. It's got this passive-aggressive racial undertone, where they speak about how black people need to be kind of exploited and worked to the max at the cheapest prices, and they use this with the metaphor of this antidotes that they use on black people and turn them into horses. And then when they become horses, they become stronger, they work for longer, they have more stamina, etc. playing on the idea of a workhorse. You know, when you're a workhorse, you're an extremely hardworking person, and they play on those metaphors. So when you're seeing people turn into horses, it sounds weird, but like when you dissect the layers of the film, it makes perfect sense on the type of message they're trying to send about how corporate spaces will work people, especially non-white people, to the bone and try their best to not pay them and exploit them, but get the best out of them. You know what I mean? It's quite twisted in a way, because Armie Hammer's this extremely nice guy. He's like a party guy. He's very welcoming, and he makes them take drugs and let's have fun. And only to realize that those drugs turn black people into horses. And this is what happens a lot in spaces where white people smile and laugh and kind of try to get the best out of you through politeness, kindness, incentives, everything except giving you money. Okay, so and that is what the movie basically plays on. It plays on corporate structures. It's not just about telecoms, and that's what makes the movie so dope. Sorry to bother you. It reminds me of Fight Club. You know, it's like Fight Club, like black Fight Club without fighting and a bit of crack, because it's so trippy. It's an extremely trippy ass movie. Like and like I said, there are people who walked out of there not understanding what they watched, and I think it's because they weren't really seeing the bigger picture. You know, I think you must understand the world you're coming into when you watch it, even though the film itself doesn't necessarily have a genre. It's one thing I loved about the movie. I had no clue what I was watching. It was a comedy, a drama, a sci-fi. I genuinely didn't know what I was watching, but I just wanted more of it. I was fascinating, but I wanted to see how it was going to end. The movie itself is like a really dope movie, and I would suggest black people to watch it, like, because what's happening right now in 2018, we're living in a time where black characters in films are being humanized. I like that we're having these layered black characters leading indie films. You know, a film like this usually would be led by a bunch of white guys, quirky white boys who would be making a movie like this. And the fact that this movie is filled with black people being quirky and witty and interesting characters, layered characters, is quite dope. So I would definitely suggest people to watch Sorry to Bother You, with Lakeith Stanfield and Terry Crews is in it, playing Lakeith's uncle. Very small role. For me, what stood out was the Danny Glover scene. And Lakeith as an actor, I think as a lead, is so strange, because I don't trust him as a lead, but when I saw him in Sorry to Bother You, I was convinced he's a good lead actor, because I know him as a supporting character. He seems like those type of actors that get supporting roles, so seeing him in a lead role is very cool. So yeah, guys, go check out Sorry to Bother You. I don't think it's still in circus. I don't think it came out in South Africa. I couldn't find it. But if you can find it, watch it, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.